Tuesday morning, everybody. It is Halloween. It's October 31st, 2023. I want to welcome everybody back into this morning live show. If you are live with us right now, you can chat on the right-hand side of the screen. We have amazing chat, amazing mods, amazing subscribers, and amazing members. Say that 10 times fast. But I want to welcome everybody in. I want to get a sneak in a quick live stream here before I do have to go off to work this afternoon. Kind of give some updates into Chelsea's case and some updates here on the channel as well. I just want to come public with this and let everybody know what's going on. So let's get into the boring stuff first. We're going to talk about channel updates. Now, I know over the last 24 hours, I kind of caused a big conundrum here on the channel. I was going to change my paid membership levels. I was going to eliminate the $199 level. Let's get down to the business with that. So what I did was I went back and looked over the memberships, and what I'm going to do is keep the $199 membership level in place. Okay, so I want to make sure that I reach out to all those rookie detectives out there. I appreciate your support. We're not going to eliminate that level. We're going to keep it. What I did was there was a level in between my memberships of $299. The $299 level has been eliminated. I think that's only going to affect 9 people, but it's eliminated now. You will be refunded. If you are not refunded, reach out to me. Let's Talk Live Podcast at gmail.com. It should refund you the $299 for that month that you paid. If it didn't, I'll Venmo, Cash App you, whatever, PayPal you. I think there's like 9 people. So I don't want a flood of like 200 people going, I had a $299 membership. That's not true. It was like 9 people. So that should come back in. Your membership will probably cease. And if you want to sign up, you can go to the $199 or the $499. So my level is going to be $199, $499, $999, $24.99, $44.99, and then I added a master detective level at $99.99. That's a complete contribute here of $99.99 on the channel. If you want to go to that level, you can. That's going to give you some perks, and we can talk about that down the road. I don't want to get into all of that right now, but I just wanted to straighten all that out. It was kind of a very highly stressful time yesterday on the channel, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that that is clear. We're going to keep the $199, but we took out that $299 level. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, what I want to do is just talk a little bit about this as well too. I just want to make it very, very clear to everybody here on the channel, everybody that's watching, everybody that may come across this level, this video today, this level. I'm talking about membership levels. I do YouTube as a semi part-time job. I really put full-time hours into this. I'm working. If I was to estimate my time, it's probably, if I'm not sleeping, if I'm not working my regular job, at least 40 to 50 hours a week. So I want to just make sure that everybody is clear on this. I do have a regular job, and a lot of the hours that I work are between like 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. at night. There's some nights that I don't walk through the door from my regular job until 10:30 p.m. at night. That's after I've done my job, I've driven home, I've literally walked through the door, take my shoes off, bam, and sit. Finally get to sit. So I have to pay bills. YouTube is not my full-time job. I don't do this full-time. Would I love to do this full-time someday? Yes. And I've been open about that. I've talked about it. But I do have a regular job, and I have to uphold what I do at my work. I have to perform my duties, and I have to give it my all when I'm there. I have to give it its full attention. Just like when I do YouTube. When I am on my YouTube time, I give YouTube my full attention. I try to give the best performance that I can, the most informative information that I can get out there, the most straight information in anything that I cover, and be very transparent on my channel. I think that's one thing that why people really connect here. And I'm not just saying this because I want to pat myself on the back, but I think people come to this channel because they find transparency. And I know that a lot of in this kind of true crime genre, there's a lot of, I don't want to say cold people, but there's just a lot of people that won't give you a lot about who they are or what they are. And that's their privacy to do that. I'm a very open book. I've been a very open book my whole life. And, I want to just make sure that I keep that open communication here. And it's getting harder because the channel is growing. And I can tell you at 8 o'clock in the morning, all my social media messages, Twitter, email, they all flood in. So I'm trying to find time to balance all of that with doing a channel, working a full-time job. And I'm also state regulated to take care of my mother because my mother is legally blind. So I have to do that as well on the side. So whatever limited time is this. Ultimately, in the end, my family is first, 1000%. I have to have a regular job to pay my bills. So I have to go to that job every day. And then right now, YouTube is third priority. And then if I can get around to it, and I promise I try to do this as best as I can, is try to get back to everybody in a timely manner. When it takes, sorry, I'm live, and of course I'm live, so everything starts running. So it may take me a little time to get to things, and I need patience in that. I realize right now that Chelsea's case is extremely highly emotional. Of course, this young lady is missing. I just came on air to start talking about this. I wanted to get awareness to this. And I'm now talking to a lot more people. I've had people on my podcast that are closely connected to this case. And I feel I'm gonna be honest, like yesterday I felt very overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed. I'm not a private investigator, I'm not law enforcement. I'm a guy in my bedroom, a corner of my bedroom that has uh, 3 screens and a microphone and a camera, and I just come on and give you my interpretation of what's going on, my opinion. That's why people come here. So I'm trying to do the best that I can. It may take me time to look over things. If I had enough time a day to sit down and really go through this, I can. And when I have that time, I try to. And I want to make sure that I come on air and I present the best presentation to all of you. And I want to be transparent in what I do here. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm more of a what if. What if, or could this have been? Could this have happened? So I think it's been rough the last 48 hours for me. And then in between all of that, I sleep like 6 hours. I go to bed and my bedtime has been going up. I used to go to bed at like 10:30, and then it was 11, and then it was 12, and then it's 12:30. Now it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm up at 6, because I have things to start doing right at 6, and I have to get all that stuff done before work. And I know I'm rambling and I'm ranting right now, but I just want to make sure that everybody is clear on that. Believe me, I want Chelsea to come home as much as everybody else. I didn't think that I would be this involved, I guess, if you can say that. And I'm trying to do the best I can. There's a lot of information out there that you're hearing from everywhere right now about timeline. And that has been the most difficult thing, is putting all the timeline together. We have that basic timeline that has been released by the mainstream media or law enforcement. And there's things in between that have come out. And I mean, it's a lot of this is public. I mean, you all can look. I mean, you can go on the Coconino Sheriff Department Facebook page. There's many people that talk on that. So I get a lot of my information from there. There's a Chelsea Grimm disappearance group, Facebook group that you can go into. And a lot of the stuff that you hear and see, you have to take, I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but we don't know. That's the bottom line, is we don't know. And, I have to say that, I've been privileged to some backroom conversations. Not a lot has been shared with me, not a lot of personal stuff. I'm just a dude, in my bedroom making podcast videos. And I'm not here to like crack the case or anything, but if I can give my interpretation of what I'm seeing and that helps someone, or maybe my interpretation that someone looks at and said, hey, I never thought about that. Maybe this is something that we could try to look into. That's what I want to do. And if I hear anything, of course, and it's released to me and they say, hey, go public with it, of course I will do that. But I need time. I need time in some of the things that are shared with me for me to go through. I'm trying to formulate a new timeline with things that I've heard and seen. And again, my timeline may be wrong. I don't know. Really, the only person that has been on the ground there that we know of has been Steve from SF Investigates. He's really been the boots on the ground there. So I've relied on a lot of what he's been saying to bring into my presentations, and it gave me some food for thought as his information has come out, and I kind of cross-reference that with thoughts that I've had. And I don't know, it's a very weird case, and there's a lot of different angles to it, and there's a lot of different information that's flying around, and there's the timeline has been hard to put together, but I'm trying to work on it as best as I can, and put that information together. So what I want to do is update everybody, and thank you for listening to that 13 minutes. I think you can sense that I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. And, I want to continue with this because my basic purpose of coming live with all of this is to give this young lady a platform to keep this out there in the forefront. I've had sources that I've talked to. I came home last night. I planned on sitting and looking over some notes and doing some work on that. I got nothing done. I didn't go to bed until 1 o'clock in the morning. I talked to 2 people last night from 10:30 to 1 in the morning. And I didn't get any work done that I wanted to do because my time has been very limited. But I talked to a source last night, and they were telling me they have friends down in the Phoenix area, and you're not really hearing anything about this. And I find that to be sad. I think this should be something that's talked about and continue to talk about. And that was my point of why I wanted to come on and talk about this and just keep it up to the forefront so people are informed, and just keep it going and going, because maybe someone comes along, they see something that's credible, they heard something that's credible, they saw something on a specific day that's credible, and we, by putting this out there and keeping this case alive in the media, people might stumble across a video that I've done and say, hey, you know what, I do remember that girl, I saw her on X date at X time. That's really the purpose of why I did this. And yeah, it's gotten a little bit deeper. We've had Elias on the show, and I've been talking to some of Chelsea's friends behind the scenes. So it's just been a lot. It's been very overwhelming for me. So I want to keep covering this. My plan is to keep doing shows on this. If I can update people on anything that's come out, or maybe something you haven't seen that is public, I want to share that with you. And that's why I want to keep doing this. And I think that you're all becoming very invested in this, the people on the channel, and we just want Chelsea to come home. It's super highly emotional, I can tell you that. And it's very emotional, and tensions are getting high because time is going by. You got to think, this is almost over a month now. It's almost over a month since the last time that we know where she was. So if I can help, I want to try to help as best as I can. I'm just not ready to make that leap to try to do this full time. I just financially can't support myself to do that. So I'm not quite there yet, but I need to let the channel keep growing, and that's what I want to do. So enough of my ranting. 16 minutes in, I want to share some new stuff with you. Thank you for the chats. I see everybody chat and the support. I appreciate that. And people have their own opinion about it. We're seeing video that's been putting out. We're hearing conversations that Chelsea has said. So the whole thing about I wouldn't believe what Steve has said. if someone's putting video out there and you're hearing someone specifically saying, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and I'm trying to stay off the grid, that is that person saying that. So, listen, the whole thing about I wouldn't believe, listen, the guy's been on the ground. He's the only person that's been out there. He's the only person that's been investigating it. You might have a bias against Steve. That's fine. But I'm going to use boots on the ground coverage. I can't be in Arizona. I don't know anybody else in Arizona that's been out there trying to investigate or cover this. So we have to use some of that information. That's the only lifeline we have right now to the last contact that anybody has had with Chelsea, and I'm not going to shit on Steve. If you feel that his information is not solid, well, I would suggest buy a plane ticket, fly to Arizona, and do your own investigation. That's all I can say. If I had the ability to do it, I would go out there and try to find out as much as I can too. But please don't come in this chat room and start saying, I wouldn't believe this and I wouldn't believe that, because you don't know either. You haven't been out there. You haven't been out there. You haven't been out there. So I'm going to use Steve's information today to talk about, because there was another update on the 29th. And, you might not like it. You might unscribe. You might say LTL is not for me. That's fine, But I'm going off what he's saying because it's literally the last contact that we know of Chelsea. So we're going to talk about it. All right, let's bring this up here. So there was an update here on the 29th. More of the video was starting to be released and put out. And I appreciate Steve for doing this, because it's really the last video contact besides the Williams Police Department video that we saw of the 9 minutes. And I just want to kind of kill another theory out there. There's a lot of theory going on out there that this police officer is involved and he went back and this. Stop with all that stuff. Okay, we need to stop with that. It's goofy. It's a dumb theory. It didn't happen. So stop. Because I'm getting tired of hearing that too. What else was I going to say? Now I'm all fired up this morning. Anyway, let me get into reading this. So this was on the 29th. So Steve says, Chelsea Grimm inquired at an Arizona hotel about using euros, aiming to stay off the grid. She's also mentioned changing her name during the conversation. I redacted the audio on her specific fears. These fears, along with untreated manic episodes, seem central to her disappearance. I now know she was in her car at 5:51 p.m. on September 30th, right where it was later found. With sunset at 6:14 p.m., one has to wonder, did she try to hike out after blowing out both passenger side tires, becoming lost in the dark? Or is she truly off the grid, starting anew? As an investigator that works solely on missing person cases, I am often at odds with others when it comes to sharing of case information. I stand by the importance of information transparency, barring criminal suspicions. Secrecy doesn't add resolution. Secrecy delays investigations and continues to put the missing person in harm's way. While no crime appears to be at play here, Chelsea is vulnerable. Finding her is crucial for her well-being. Here's a second surveillance clip from 11 a.m. on September 28th. And I'm going to play that audio for you all. And I'll play it in real time, and then I'll slow it down so you all can listen. I'm going to wait here until it loops, and we'll get the 16-second clip. Here we go.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really.
She said I was trying to stay off the grid. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to slow it down.
I was hoping not to use the unless you take euros.
Unless you take euros.
Anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid.
I don't really want. So, I want to go down and just read some of the tweets here that are replies. So Send Matter says, If I was trying to go under the radar, I wouldn't put my card down and I wouldn't say, oh, wait, wouldn't want to be traced. Tell a stranger that I was going off the grid, randomly try to pay in the wrong currency, or tell a stranger I wasn't going to change my name, all on camera. Worried. So Steve replied, you have to take into account her mental state of mind. You can't look at it from a place of rational thinking. Sam Matters replies and says, I had a thought that maybe she was trying to alert the person she was talking to that there was something wrong too. Really weird feeling about this situation. It appears at another business later in the afternoon and didn't indicate anything to them. Then the police officer that night. He says, okay, thanks. We go on to read. I agree. And it goes in to talk about Chelsea's boyfriend. I think PJ should be open and honest about with investigators. Instead, it seems to be pre-screening who he talks to, and what about. If he has nothing to hide, then there should have been nothing to hide. Anna Marie goes on, I would be suspicious of trafficking. She should know that that US doesn't accept euros. If she wanted to be off the grid, she wouldn't have done that with a store and a security camera. SF Investigates says, I think you have to consider there are two things happening simultaneously, a true fear and the irrational paranoia that has amplified everything and caused a perfect storm of imbalance. Ashley replies, says 1000%. And then it goes on to say, I'm guessing it's her parents' card and she doesn't want them to know where she is. And Steve replied and said, it's her card. More replies. Are you trying to say it's her card and she consciously trying to avoid detection by investigators? She's telling multiple strangers her intentions, plans on camera. Those things conflict with each other in my mind. But they do if she's having a breakdown or already did. Then she would not understand. Also, someone could be outside watching her. Why else the euros when she clearly is a US citizen? Maybe she's hoping that that guy would call Popo quickly by eradicating the statement prayers. I tweeted at Steve and said, how do you know she was in her car at 5:51 p.m. on September 30th? Very interesting. It actually gives us pretty good snippet of what's going on in her mind. This is a very perplexing missing person case. I agree with everything you've said. Regardless of the outcome here, you've done amazing work on helping it, trying to find answers for her family, and you've uncovered so much info. I really hope she is just off the grid somewhere. And it just goes on and on. I mean, if you want to read the thread, I'm going to drop this. But when I look at this and I'm starting to kind of think about things, in my opinion, the Euros, I believe we know that Chelsea did go to Europe at some point. I think within that last year. Maybe this is something that she held on to in her pocketbook and had it. To me, if I was trying to alert someone and I was trying to bring attention to maybe a situation that's going on, we've heard things like, and again, I have so many theories about this. If she's in any type of trouble, and I think we've heard of things like this in like battered women situations, they do something that, maybe they're out in public, they do something weird to get attention, and you're trying to alert people around you. You're trying to throw people off. You're trying to give a signal that something is wrong. Like that person that was replying to the tweet. If I was in any type of trouble, or I was being maybe held against my will, or I was being held to do something, then I would try to confuse the situation as much as I could possibly without essentially triggering anything and saying, hey, there's someone outside watching me right now. Again, this is only my opinion, and I have a couple of opinions, and I'm going to give you my second opinion on this. So let's just say that there is someone out there that's forcibly her doing something, or there's someone out there that she doesn't want to be with. So they tell her, hey, go inside, get a motel room, and she's trying to throw this guy off with, I'm trying to stay off the grid. I'm going to try to pay with euros. I don't want to pay with this credit card because it could be traceable. Okay, that might be kind of a, I wouldn't say white flag, but maybe a red flag. You're kind of waving your proverbial red flag. I have something going on here. I'm trying to throw you off. So you kind of think and go, something doesn't seem right on this girl. Maybe I should call someone and have them check on her. Okay, there's that scenario. Two, maybe she truly is trying to go off the grid. Maybe she truly is trying to disappear from a situation. I've talked about this. Get clean, free of someone around her, free of maybe abusive people or friends or just a situation that she's involved with. And this is the only way that she is finding a way out. I'm not going to use my credit card. Maybe the only money that she had available at the time, she didn't have any cash. All she had was euros. She pulls that out and said, "Hey, would you take euros?" So again, it's a very confusing case. There's a lot of theories. Those are some of the conclusions that I've come up with over the last 24, 48 hours. I still feel in my heart that Chelsea is out there somewhere. We just don't know where. We just don't know where. And it's frustrating. I mean, I wake up every day and literally my 2 feet hit the ground on my bed and I look up and I go, "Chelsea, where are you? Where are you? We just want to know. Want to make sure you're safe." So it's odd. It's odd and it's strange. And I'll play this again.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really. That's the problem. I was hoping not to use the card.
So I'm assuming she says someone's name there. I don't really want blank. And maybe there's a name. Maybe there's a person. Maybe she says my parents. I don't know. I haven't had privilege to hearing that. So let's play it again.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really. That's the problem. I was hoping not.
That's the problem.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really. That's the problem. I was hoping not to use the card. Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really.
It's been investigated.
I was hoping not to.
Steve really has been the only boots on the ground person there. And that's why I say is, when people, it was muted before it was put out, it was redacted. And he said that in the video that he redacted it. And maybe he feels that there's something that is said there that could, I don't know, compromise something, investigation or, I truly don't know. I'm not inside Steve's head. I'm not inside Steve's head, but he's really been the boots on the ground person there. And he's giving more to us. He's letting more out. I'm very curious to find out how he knows that she was in her car that same day at 5:51 p.m., the night that she went missing at 5:51 p.m., 15 minutes before sundown. I want to know who saw her, and I want to know how he knows that she was there. So that has been the big mystery for me. Was it the woodcutter that came in or someone that drove by? Was there a photo taken of the car, with her in it? I don't know. But that has been kind of the big thing. And that's why I tweeted at him and said, "Hey, how do you know that she was in her car on the day at 5:51 p.m.? 15 minutes before sundown." Hasn't replied yet. Hopefully he will. But I just say this: if you have a problem with the investigation, I would say gather your resources and go out and investigate. This is really the only, I would say, lifeline to this case, other than what law enforcement has shared with us. Everybody can say anything on Facebook and Twitter, but when someone's going out and they're getting video and obtaining information in this case and able to share it and put it out there, you have to kind of hold on to a little bit of hope there. But it's interesting. The off the grid thing is very interesting. There was a lot of sightings. I have a Google map that we did at the very, very beginning of this. I did the basic timeline and then I entered sightings, but we don't know if they're confirmed. That's the thing. Someone could say they saw something. Oh, I saw her around, 6 p.m. Remember when we went through that? My Google Earth map, the sightings. I think I'm becoming a little emotional in this now. I'm getting kind of defensive. It's why I've been kind of crabby about it. And I think that I've been a crabby when people attack Steve. Look, he's the only person that's been out there. So you got to give the guy some credit in that sense. Are you out there doing it? No. Yeah. See, I have all the little witness statements I did on my Google Earth. So we updated. I haven't done any updates in a while. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had time. I'd love to. These are all the little sightings. And we went through these, tried to book the hotel, and I have a little synopsis about it. We went through, maybe we can do this again. I can update the map when I have some time. The Love's gas station, the cell phone ping. I went through and did all of this, spotted all the new witness sightings, all the details of what people said where they might have saw her. It's a crazy timeline. That's the thing. There's so much information that is flooded in about this at such a short amount of time. And like I said, it's so hard to kind of pick through what could be relevant to the case. So it's been tough, and it's just been overwhelming for me, because it's almost like I feel like everybody's coming to me for the answer because I've been the one that's talking, and I know just about as much as everybody else. So it's crazy. AZ makes a good point. He says the main shooter was cited all over the state, like 1,000 reports called in from all over Maine, of course. And that's what happens in these situations. Oh, I saw a girl that had a bearded dragon, but it turned out to not be her. And, there was a million girls with bearded dragons in the Arizona area seen, within these last couple of weeks. So it's just been really weird. There's one thing that keeps coming up that still kind of irks me a little bit too, and I still keep hearing a lot about this, and I want to talk about it. I know I have it here on one of the it's the Circle K sighting. I'm still seeing more about that, and it's a little weird. And if I can find where the hell it is. Right here. This I've heard a lot about this area, this Circle K. But there was a sighting here. So that's been kind of piqued my interest. And I've traveled up and down. There's a hotel right here. There's a Circle K right here. So that's kind of piqued my interest. I hear a lot about this. And then you got the airport right there. But I would think if she got on a plane, nowadays you have to use your ID, you have to use a passport. So that would probably be the first thing that I would look into if I'm law enforcement. Did she hop a plane in that area? I don't think that happened. Yeah, no presser. It is. It's odd. And that's why like channels like this are really the only one that is been able to kind of keep this alive, you know. It's been overwhelming for me. Super overwhelming. Carrie, thank you. You know, I'm trying. I'm trying to do the best I can. I might not be the most you know, best information into this. I know there's a lot of people that, you know, might be a little bit better in their sleuthing. I give you my when I look at stuff, you know, very basic. This is what I think is going on. You know, I'm not going to get into the sun was in, you know, at 11 o'clock up in the sky, and then the stars at midnight aligned with the moon. You know, I don't get into all that stuff. But I just say, you know, look, if you're unhappy with the investigation, grab a flight, go down there, grab some recording gear, and hit the pavement. You know, that's all I can tell you to do. It's just there's a lot coming in. It's hard to sort through everything. It's taking a toll on me. Listen, I'm just a guy in my bedroom making YouTube videos and just trying to keep this alive for everybody and just give you my kind of interpretation and my speculation about it. It's just it's crazy. But anyway, so I wanted to bring everybody kind of up to speed. That's really the last that we know of right now. Um, the last update we have. And it's just kind of this off the grid, off the grid. Is she saying this to alert people, to bring some awareness? Hey, I'm in some sort of trouble. Or is she truly off the grid right now, somewhere where no one knows where she is, hiding, maybe possibly getting clean, shedding herself of a past life, or maybe an abusive past life? You know, is she in a retreat somewhere getting help? We found out that she's found religion. Is she in a religious organization hiding out? Has she given herself to an organization, a religious organization? That could be a possibility too. Is this a cult activity type of thing? You know, gave herself into a cult. The possibilities are endless. You know, the possibilities are endless. You know, those are some of the things that go through me. There are a lot of religious retreats out there in Arizona as well. Maybe she felt some certain type of connection to Arizona and God. Um, you know, we truly don't know, but it's confusing. It's very highly emotional, and it's going to take time. And unfortunately, as time goes by, emotions get heightened, people get frustrated, and ultimately, in the end, all we want is the people in and around this case to make sure that they speak in full transparency, give the full amount of information that they can, correct information, because that can ultimately help find, you know, where Chelsea is. So let me just look up here. Let's see. Mary says evidence shows in her words she's trying to stay off the grid. I wonder if that's fair of her to say that people are physically going search for her, as nobody knows for sure what she could be running from. And truth be told says your emotions are getting to you, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I take this shit serious. When someone's missing, I'm invested in a case. Fuck yeah, I take this serious. Yep, my emotions are involved in this. Absolutely. I didn't think that I would find myself this close to it. Yep, absolutely are emotional. I think I have every right to be emotional. In the end, everybody wants Chelsea to come home. That family and her friends care about her so much. So yeah, I am. I'm totally emotionally invested in this. Sure am. Every day I get up, you know. Maybe that makes me the difference between myself and other true crime people that do this. You know, maybe they do it just for a buck. I do it to try to get out the best information I can. And if I can save someone from being in trouble, or I can bring someone home through the power of my videos, or give people that are involved in this case a platform to talk, you're goddamn right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Yep. I'm totally emotionally invested. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. You don't like it? Unsubscribe. Don't watch. I have a heart. I have compassion. If that was my sister, if that was my girlfriend, yep, I'd be emotional. If that was my family member in some way, yep, sure. I want to go back up here. Vanilla Cupcake says she could be trying to get to a DV safe house from her abusive ex. If so, all this coverage could expose her, especially since the ex was looking for her. Well, I don't think that it's exposing anything because a lot of the stuff that I am talking about or I have said is pretty public. You can go on the Coconino Facebook page. There's a lot of conversation on there. You can go into the Chelsea Grimm disappearance Facebook page. There's a lot of information in there. You can go on to Reddit. There's a lot of information there. You can read news articles. There's a lot of information there. So everything that I'm saying isn't nothing that hasn't been public. You can go on Twitter and you can look as well too. I mean, this is a public case. It's out there. All I'm doing is looking at things and giving you my interpretation of what I'm seeing. I could be dead wrong. I could be dead wrong. And maybe people will agree with me and maybe people won't agree with me. Everybody looks at things differently. Everybody looks at cases differently. So everything that I have said hasn't been out there. It is out there and it is public. I haven't put anything out there that's not public. So, there's a lot of things that I still don't know and about people's private lives. I don't know. Candy says, I think villain meant it exposes her to see where she's at. I could be wrong, but that's how I look at it. Sure. Mary says, I wish it would, somebody would just call. I wish she would just call somebody. And if it's off the grid things, then tell them. And she's hopefully get to a space she may be needing. Absolutely. So, that's it. I mean, that's really the last update that I have right now. I continue to kind of go over my notes and timeline and, try to piece things together off social media and get into one central area and look at it and say, okay, could this be a possibility? There's a lot of possibilities right now, a ton of possibilities. But, my reason is keep coming live with what I can, share things that, maybe people don't have the access to Twitter or Facebook. There's a lot of people in here that say, I appreciate what you do because I don't have Facebook and I don't have Twitter. So when news breaks, and we know Twitter is like the fastest thing for breaking news, and I can get that out to someone that doesn't have Twitter and get that information out, or Facebook, they can go, oh, thank you. Now I can add that to my list of notes if they're writing notes on this case as well too. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay, I need to get going. I have to get off air. I have a long work day ahead of me, and I just want to get on and show some new updates off of Twitter. SF Investigates release more of the Chelsea Grimm video. Please do what you can with it. Look it over. See if you see anything. See if you hear anything. It's all there. It's all public. I'll drop the link again if you want to look at that feed. Hopefully Steve will answer me and I get some answers to how does he exactly know that she was there on the 30th at 5:51 p.m. I'm very curious about that. So I need to get going. Hope everybody has a great day. Sorry, listen, I am a little bit emotional. I'm invested in this. I really am. And I want to continue to do this and continue to put and get information out there for people. So I know I apologize a lot and everybody goes, you need to stop apologizing. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. All right. I need to get going. I'll see everybody soon. Be safe. Be well. Bye.